equipment for my company. It is one of the hardest things to actually keep on track, and so I'm very thankful to have people operate this instead of myself. So yeah, I want to give a little bit of an introduction just to myself first, and then I also want to get a little bit of an understanding about who we all have here with us. So first of all, my name is Liam. I am an actor professionally here in the city of Edmonton. I've worked as an actor for both stage, screen, and voice acting. I'm also an improviser with Sorry Not Sorry Improv, who's currently here at GameCon Canada. And I've also been an actor for Edmonton Haunted Houses, which is wonderful, and I'm seeing my wonderful people here as well. I've also been a professional dungeon master now for about 4 years, but I've been dungeon mastering for about 6 now. Pretty lean light years within that time, starting back in 2019. I want to get a little bit of a gauge with the room before I really dive in today. Who here is someone who is a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop role-playing games, who's a game master here? One right there, fantastic. 1, 2. Okay, a little bit. We're tipping our toes in. Okay, I'm getting some tippers, that's great. Who here is a player of tabletop role-playing games? Okay,
everybody.
Almost everybody, which is wonderful. That's great. That helps me a lot because it makes me be like, okay, what am I going to dive into and talk about, and how much of a breakdown of the actual system do I actually need to kind of go into? For those of you who have not raised your hand, I'm going to just simply say a little bit about what tabletop role-playing games are, just so we're all on the same kind of page. Tabletop role-playing games are a medium of gameplay and storytelling where we basically have a system that is designed to help us go into particular adventures or stories that we want to dive into, usually tied to a particular genre. For Dungeons and Dragons, for example, that is a fantasy role-playing system. For something like one of my personal favorites, which is a game from the 1980s called Chill, that is like horror, or if we even want to talk about something like Vampire the Masquerade, we're also dealing with like horror and stuff like that. They are games usually dictated by dice or like some kind of rule system that allow us to realize our imagination, to put ourselves into the places with different characters that can inhabit worlds inspired by these systems and allow us to go on journeys with our friends or total strangers or family members. Basically, they allow us to open our minds to imagination, to be different people and go to different places in our imagination. But there are also things that can truly make us feel like we are going on adventures that are not just imaginary, but experiences that we remember for the rest of our lives. They can feel truly real to us. One of the things that's very interesting to me when it was kind of like talking about this was kind of understanding what I want to talk about. What I will let you know I'm not here to talk about is how is it that I'm going to be running my particular stories. Unless there's a question that comes up later for that, this is not focusing on, this is the A, B's, and C's of how you are to dungeon master your stories effectively. This is more talking about the role that I have found has been kind of absent in a lot of tabletop RPG spaces. And something that I feel very personally about talking about more in depth, which is the idea that tabletop role-playing is a space that requires leadership, community leadership. These games are community, almost like outreach programs. They are programs and they're games that allow us to engage with our communities and having leaders that can help be the people to help guide us through this web of confusing numbers and math and the weird things of wait, I can be a person who casts magic and I'm also this weird half-dragon creature that came both from the underground sea, but I'm also the son of an angel. How does that work? Basically, I want to talk to you guys about the responsibility of being tabletop people that are aware of this community and how we can help lead each other, and the necessity that I think leadership is required.